What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys having a good day so far. In today's video, we are on the test server here, and we will be playtesting and trying out one of the brand new champions that just came out with the recent update, and that is going to be from the brand new faction, the Argonites. He's going to be the Void Affinity champion, Tekteon Fissureflesh. Now, this guy's kit reads absolutely insane, and it's perfect for the current arena meta, which is dominated by Mercurial gear champions. Let's take a quick look at this guy's kit if you guys don't already know already. Void Affinity, he's HP based. He is kind of a geared out or spec'd out here like a damage dealer. He's got the boosted crit damage. Let's check out what he can do. He's got an A1 double hit AoE attack. That is absolutely absurd on an A1. Has a 35% chance of placing stun on an A1, guys. This is wild. Double hit on 35%. It's about 50%, maybe slightly less of getting the stun off. So you're not gonna stun everybody all the time, but you're gonna stun a good amount of them, probably half of them. Just with his A1. So it's really, really crazy. And it's an AoE, so it's great against Mercurial stacks, multiple enemies with Mercurial stacks. He's got an A2 here. This ability is nuts. On a 3-turn cooldown, another AoE double hit. Again, very good for Mercurial stacks. Before attacking, places 15% Shatter. Shatter is ignore defense. So he's placing 15% ignore defense buff on himself. Will ignore, shield, strengthen, increase defense. And then each hit increases the cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns. So he's a lockout champion with ignore defense in his kit. And he's a multi-hit AoE. So far, multi-hit AoE A1, multi-hit AoE A2 with the lockout, and he has damage in his kit. Yeah, it's crazy. He has an A3 here, also crazy. On a 4-turn cooldown, places Taunt and Poison Cloud on himself for 3 turns. This is a long one. And then he places a protected shield buff equal to 30% of this champion's max HP on all allies. Then he gets extra turns. So effectively a 3-turn cooldown ability with 3-turn duration buffs. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. 30% protected shield, and it's 30% of his max HP. And since he's HP base, he's probably going to have quite a bit. Crazy ability to increase the durability of your team. Finally, his passive. At the start of each round, places a Poison Cloud on this champion. Poison Cloud basically means that no enemy can crit against him. They can't even normal hit against him. So only weak hits coming in. Decrease the damage this champion receives from crits by 50%. So the Poison Cloud is going to make everybody weak hit against him. And then when they don't weak hit against him, and if they crit him, he's only going to receive 50% of that damage. This is really insane. Like this just means he's basically unkillable for the first little bit, unless you can remove this Poison Cloud. It's not protected or anything, which makes it, slightly more balanced. But yeah, it's crazy. And then lastly, whenever an enemy hits this champion, increases his max HP by 5%. Weak hits increase this champion's max HP by 10% instead, stacks up to 100%. So his HP will double at the end of all this. Yeah, it's insane. And he comes in with HP in all battles, 33%. He's also Void Affinity, so you're not going to run into affinity issues with the lockout or the stun. Unfortunately, all of this stuff requires accuracy. So you have a damage dealer here that requires a good amount of accuracy to land these critical, status effects, right? But at the same time, you also want to build them out for damage. Let's test him out for damage first, and then let's see if we need to change his build up at all. So first, let's jump into my Tekleon. I'll show you guys how I built him out. First, let's test out his damage. I got him in Lethal Stone Skin. This is roughly what I would probably use him in Arena. Maybe Mercurial with Lethal might be better because he does come already into the round with a Poison Cloud. So maybe a 4-piece Mercurial with a 4-piece Lethal might be the way to go. But I just don't have a very good Mercurial gear to make it work. So we're just going to build him out like this with the Stone Skin for now. Pretty big boy stats here. 110 base HP, 293 speed, 344 crit damage, low accuracy. We're just going to test him out for damage first. I got the Lens of Intangibility here just for some extra damage for ignore defense. So he's going to be rocking 30% ignore defense. So that's 15, 15, 10, and then 5. So 30% there, 25 from the lethal set. So that's 55. And then he's also going to get 15% from here. So that's going to be 70. And then he has a chance to Helm Smasher, which is 95. So he's almost going to be fully ignoring defense. it's quite a bit. So this is a pretty stacked up damage build. In terms of blessings, I took Lightning Cage because I am running Stone Skin on him just for the arena, and I do have him 5-star blessed just to showcase what he can actually do. For the masteries here, we did go with Helm Smasher. Helm Smasher here, I think, is pretty standard. And then we went down to Lasting Gifts just to get some more duration on his buffs. All right. So in terms of relics, obviously any kind of damage dealing relic would do great on him. You could even use him with the Wand of Submission just to keep him from getting crowd control. He can be crowd controlled himself, although he might be difficult to kill. You can crowd control him. So anyways, let's bring him into some content and let's see what he can do. All right, I got him in here with Dragon stage here. We're just going to see what he can do here. So first, he opens up with the Poison Cloud, so he's always gonna have it. He has the Veil from the lens and all that. You're probably not going to open with this ability, but you definitely could. It grants extra turn, so you definitely could open with that. Let's try that out. Okay, cool. We got Taunt, Poison Cloud, whatever. It goes right into the extra turn. Let's check out his A2 in terms of overall damage here. He's going to buff himself with a Shatter buff. And then he's going to lock out the enemies here. So let's check it out. Big Slam. Did not one-shot everybody. It's actually seemingly a little bit weak. I mean, we didn't really get too much damage off against this wave. So it doesn't seem very strong. Let's check out his A1. Let's see what it can do here. Slow it down for the cameras and double hit. Yeah, we stunned about half of them. Again, not very strong. I would not expect these abilities to hit super hard because they're so strong already in terms of just the overall abilities of them. So not surprised that they're not hitting very hard. Now I got RSLX website open here on the side. We do have the multiplier information if you guys are interested in seeing that. So we got the A1 multiplier here, 0.11 twice. So 0.22 on his A1. And then his A2 AoE is a 0.15 multiplied by HP. Now keep in mind that he does get 15% shatter ignore defense, and then he also has the special abilities where he can ignore shield strength and increase defense, and of course the lockout ability. So 0.15 by his HP multiplied by his HP. To put that in perspective, Sir Nicholas AoE hits for 0.3, and then he gets 30% ignore defense and then the big shield that happens afterwards. So it's, his is a pretty big smack. And then the other champion that I like to compare others to is Magnar. Magnar being an epic champion, his double hit AoE hits for 0.22 each. So total is 0.44 if he double hits. And he's generally considered, a pretty decent nuker, but he doesn't come with ignore defense. So 0.15 is pretty weak when you compare, him to like those types of champions. But keep in mind that, of course, he has so much other things going on for his A2 that you don't necessarily need him to hit super, super hard. So personally speaking, I think we can kind of shut down any kind of this guy being a full nuking type of champion, and we'll just focus more on his debuffs and abilities. So let's go back, let's rebuild our Tekteon, and then let's try him in some other content. All right, guys, so this is my re-geared Tekteon. So now he's no longer in ignore defense set. We're not going to build him out for full damage. Instead, we're going to build him out as a control champion. He does bring stuns. He has a lockout. He's really hard to kill. He has a taunt, so he's going to drive all the damage into himself. And then, yeah, we got him kitted out in a 9-piece Mercurial set. He does have an extra turn mechanic in his kit, which is great for the 9-piece Mercurial set, which gives him the extra total guard stack, especially when he takes the extra turn. So it's just going to make him that much harder to kill, guys. Now, we made him reasonably fast, 339 with 528 accuracy. Don't have the fastest gear on him. Don't have full faction guardians or anything like that either. So we're missing a bunch of stats. We do have the 5-star blessing. We did change up his masteries here a little bit. We went down to Eagle Eye for some extra accuracy. We took a little bit of healing here from Shadow Heal, and then Retribution here for extra A1s. Now, you could try to get Deterrence here, but then you would have to probably give up Lasting Gifts. And Lasting Gifts, I think, gets quite a bit of value here. You get extra turn on some of these buffs that he casts, which is pretty insane. We did change up his relic to the Wand of Submission. I think this is a really good one. It just prevents him from getting, first of all, getting sheeped. Second of all, getting crowd control, because he has really not too much protection against that unless he has the Poison Cloud up on himself. We take, in terms of the gemstones, we did take additional accuracy to land stuns here, and then additional speed for each enemy under stuns. Lightning Cage, I think, still is the pick here for Tekteon, because he does bring a bunch of buffs in his kit, and you don't want that stuff getting stripped off. So Lightning Cage is going to help with that. I'm pretty interested to see how well this build performs. He's not going to be the first one to go, unfortunately. So getting the lockout as quickly as possible is going to be difficult. But we'll try to incorporate him into a build that kind of makes sense, or a team that makes sense. All right, so I got him together here on this team. He's kind of taking the spot of Fabian a little bit here. So if you kind of compare him to Fabian, they both kind of can be interchangeable-ish. Fabian obviously brings, different elements of crowd control. He also brings a lockout, but Tekteon also brings those elements as well, including the buffs for the whole team, which is going to be amazing. He also brings a little bit more survivability. In exchange, though, he loses the immunity to the crowd control, which kind of sucks. So we'll see how well it works, but he's also not as fast because I got him geared out in 9-piece Mercurial. But let's have a look. We got a pretty good team here against the team that we're facing, so we're not going to die here too quickly. Let's see what happens. Carnage going off. So Tekteon's going to get the turn here. So let's go with the buffs. So he's going to buff up. See, there we go. We got the 4-turn. You see that 4-turn Poison Cloud? Absolutely nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts. And now we're going to go into the Shatter with the Lockout, Ignore Shield, Strengthen, Increase Defense. So they have increased defense and strengthen on them. So we're going to ignore that. Okay, so let's start the smacks. Let's slow it down here, and let's see what happens. Smack. Smack. I mean, we're not built for damage or anything, but we locked them all out. So that's great. And Donnie's going to come in here. We're going to refresh, or not refresh, but cleanse off. We're going to heal up, ally protection. Everything is gravy. Carnage is going to come in here, shut down that Empress. Yep, he's got the taunt up as well. He's going to be really hard to kill with the taunt up. So now we got the A1 stunnage. Let's start stunning them up. There we go. We got 1 stun off. Let's do the reset. And can we kill the Sifi? There she goes. We got the reset there as well. Steal stuff. Look at that. Weak hits. The Poison Cloud protects him. Weak hits. Nasty stuff, guys. Let's go back. Let's get the heals. Sorry, let's get the buffs going on. We got the Poison Cloud back. 3-turn Poison Cloud. And then we're going to go right back into the lockout. Hit, locked out. Just gravy right now. Gravy. Let's kill you. Stunnage. Yep, 1 stun. Kill you. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Especially with the 9-piece Mercurial. It's really hard to go. It's really hard to go through this guy. Once he gets set up, it's really, really difficult. Let's try this team. We're not going to be able to go. I don't think we're going to be able to go first here again, and we're going to get locked out. That's going to be the problem. So again, this is going to be a situation where you really want to go first. We can try perhaps somebody like Lamasu. Try. I don't know if we're going to be fast enough here, but if we go first, no, we don't. Oh, we cut in, which is nice. So that's going to give us a chance to lock him out. So there we go. We're going to self-buff. We got to be careful about like supersonics and any passives that benefit off of buffs. So that's going to be something that you guys need to watch out for if you guys are using him. And then we're going to lock him out. Boom, boom. Everybody's locked out. And then now it's gravy train. Now it's the gravy train. So, all right. Transform. He's sad. He can't really do anything. He does go through to block damage. This guy's going to be sad. Can't do anything. And then we will kill the Sifi. And she's dead. And that does nothing. And A1 stunnage. Stuns 1. And can we kill him? Nope. And kill him. There we go. Dead. And we have Pain Link on. Now, Pain Link looks like it does deal damage to us. Yes. And let's see. Yep. Going through. Remove some. Ooh, big damage coming in. All right, let's shield up. And unfortunately, we can't remove. So that's one of the good things about Fabian is that Fabian reduces the duration of the buffs, which is basically removing the buffs, which is really nice. Let's go for the lockout here. Everybody's locked out. Oh, we actually lost somebody. That sucks. But when he's like this, it's really hard to deal with. It's really hard because you have to strip off his stuff. Otherwise, you really can't kill him. I don't think I have enough accuracy to properly deal with a lot of these teams. So you see a bunch of these teams here. 500 accuracy is not gonna cut it against these guys. We can try maybe against this team. I don't think it's gonna work out, but let's try. Carnage is strong enough to take out this team by himself, but let's see what happens here. He's got the Stormcrawler, Marius. Do we get a turn here? Our Mercurial stacks have been removed. So let's buff shields and let's lock out. There you go. Everybody's locked out. And let's steal stuff. There you go. There you go. Weak hits. Really nice. The weak hits plus the taunts. Really, really nice. And now we got the AoE double hit. So it's going to take off Raglan's Mercurial stack here, which is really nice. And we triple stun everybody, which is amazing. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Get the reset going. Let's try to lock him out. We do. Buff everybody. And lock out again. Raglan's immune to the lockouts and stuff, so nice goes down. And can we take her out? There she goes. Nice. That worked out pretty well. Yeah, he's a really, really strong control champion. And he's different than Fabian, where Fabian relies solely on crowd control. But he has a mix. He has a crowd control and he has durabilities. He has really, really, good durability. And he also improves, the rest of your team also. All right, let's try this team here. But he suffers the same thing, as a lot of support champions. If he gets locked out, then you're not going to have a good time. So he goes first in this situation. He's going to lock them out, but he doesn't remove the stone skin. So that's a bit of a problem too. He doesn't remove the stone skin. It's a pretty slow offensive team here. Can we remove? No, he has the lightning cage stuff. Not gonna work. Double weak hits. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Weak hits there. Weak hits there. Oh, that's so nice. Guys, that's real nice. All right, we got the buffs back up, and then we're gonna lock him out again. Nasty. And if you build him out for some damage, I'm sure he can chip in a little bit of damage also. Darn, did I mess that up? I think we got this team here, so no big deal finishing it up. All right, let's see how well he does against Taras Marichka, because unless he gets his taunt up, he's going to get blown away by this Taras, right, with his A2 whenever he touches Marichka. So let's see how well he performs here. I think with the Poison Cloud, he can survive. So let's try Poison Cloud, and let's lock them out. Boom, boom. Yep, we can definitely survive the weak hits. Yep, looks good. And steel buff, dead. It's kind of nice. Weak hits, so nice. So nice, guys. I think Mercurial is probably not necessary on him, just because he has so many layers of protection. Look at this. He's just shrugging off these Taras hits. Uh, yeah, like pretty crazy. Actually, just shrugging them off. So maybe Mercurial is not necessary. So I think we can probably think of another gear set. I think maybe gearing him out to be as fast as possible so he can get his lockout going might be the best. But you can kind of see here he's pretty much a wall. Cannot you can't go through this guy. It's pretty much a wall. Look at this. The weak hits, super nice. And he's got the taunt up, so all the damage is going into him. Crazy, crazy stuff. So the taunt back up again, 3-turn taunt. If you can't strip this off, huge problems. Huge problems, guys. Let's see if we what can we do here? Can we bring everybody back? Stun? Nope, no stun. Locked out, and there she goes. There you go. Taras Marichka basically just hitting into a brick wall. All right, guys, I think I'm going to stop it there for the showcase for Tekteon. I think he works really well as a control champion. Now, he does have some damage aspects in his kit, but his multipliers just don't really bring him out to do really well as a damage dealer. But his kit as a control champion is actually really strong. Double hits, AoEs on both his A1 and A2 help remove the Mercurial stacks. He's got stuns here on the A1. He's got the lockout here on the A2. And then he has this crazy ability here where he has the taunt, poison cloud, and then a big shield, 30% of his max HP. This is a huge form of protection for your team. Now, the way you kind of deal with this is you just got to strip it off or, apply block buffs against this guy's team or just lock him out. But he's going to be hard to kill right off the bat because of this poison cloud buff. So you have to strip this off. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to kill this guy. No matter how many hits you send into him, like an ally attack or something, it's going to be really hard to hit this guy and kill this guy because of his passives here. The poison cloud, first of all, from his ability and his passive. Second of all, he takes 50% less damage from crit hits and his HP stacks up. Personally speaking, he's probably similar in terms of how you would build like a Sabriel, really fast, really high accuracy, probably crit cap so that he can help out a little bit of damage. But I would say if you don't have that level of gear, I would completely forego damage and just build him out fastest champion, and then just focus on accuracy. Basically like you would build a Fabian. But in this case, Tekteon is a Void Affinity champion, first of all. And he has a different strategy than Fabian. Like I said, where Fabian fully relies on his crowd control. Tekteon does have ways to keep himself alive. He's incredibly tanky. He can support your team by keeping them alive with buffs. And he's a better Mercurial sweeper than Fabian. Although Fabian's still pretty good, he's a better champion at removing Mercurial than Fabian is. Now, one big bonus that Fabian does have over Tekteon is that Fabian has a speed aura and Tekteon does not. So that's a pretty big bonus that Fabian does have. But make no mistake, this champion is absolutely insane. Once people start building out their faction guardians, they got the +10 speed, they got all the stats from the Argonite faction guardians, then this guy's going to definitely catch up. But initially, his stats are going to be a little bit low unless you're like Omega Kraken and you have all the Argonites filled out already for the faction guardians. Most people won't. So he's going to be a little bit behind in the beginning. Another big plus that Fabian actually has over Tekteon is that Tekteon's base speed is 98 and Fabian's base speed is, I believe, 109. So it's 11 speed faster than Tekteon, which adds up because if you put the same gear on Tekteon and on Fabian, Fabian's going to get more of a boost. So it's tough. It's a little bit tough, but I really like his kit. I think it's great. But if you want to utilize him for a lockout champion, you do have to make him fast. And it's not that easy to make this guy fast, which is probably one of the biggest drawbacks about this guy's entire kit. Otherwise, absolutely insane champion. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Tekteon Fissureflesh here. Do you guys think he is worth the hype? Do you guys think he is absolutely nuts? Let me know. I know he works pretty well against Mercurial, but is he overall a fully capable champion with a coherent kit? Is he better than Fabian? That's the other question as well. Is he better than Sabriel? Probably not, but Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Thanks for watching till the end. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.